session is we're going to do the static routing with static default routing. Okay. So before that, uh, just I will I'm just going to explain you about the topology. What actually we want to our plan to do that. So let's just assume that this is our HO office. Let me connect this one. Just a minute. Yeah. Right. Okay, so this is our HO, head office. Okay. Just assume this is our HO, and all the branches are connected into this is our internet ISP, and all the branches are in the same city. Okay, in Hyderabad only. Let's suppose it all in Hyderabad, and all are connected to the lease line. Okay, like lease line. Everyone is connected with the lease line. But the thing is, every branch should come to the HO, and later the request will go out from the HO to the internet. Okay, so consider this part is your local area network. This part is your WAN area network. Okay, WAN. So what is LAN and WAN? So these are your private network, and this will be your public network. So user will be sit into this branch, user will sit into this branch, user will sit into this branch. So let's suppose this is our branch one. Branch one is we are using 10.1 series, and branch two we are using this. Let's assume this is a branch two, and 20.1 local area network we are using. Here we are using the 40.1 series network. Okay, and this is our internet, and we are giving one IP like the loopback interface will provide here. Okay, so we'll start from the very basic configuration. First, we'll go with the GUI, and the same thing we'll do in the CLI mode as well. Okay, so for every topic, we'll cover in GUI and CLI as well. So wipe all nodes, whatever that configuration of the last time, it will remove and start all nodes. Let me change the image of this so it will look like internet. Any disturbing sound from my side? All is clear, Lakshmipati?
Yeah, clear,
You have
sir.
completed? Okay, good. So this is our vein. These are our lane. Okay, so this will count as a branch one. Okay, so B1, we can consider the branch one, B1. Okay, and this will be our B2, B2, and this will be our B3, and this is our internet. So internet is nothing but this is a router also, but we are just assuming like a internet. Okay, internet. Okay, fine. So let me start the configuration now. So these are our inside network. Under the inside, we have some local area network that is a 10.1. This is our interface IP. Under this branch, we have a 20.0 network. And this is our local one. Another branch is connected. That the branch are using 40.1 series network. Okay. So enable configuration terminal, no IP domain lookup, no IP domain lookup, and the interface path connect 0 by 0. We are just assigning IP address into the routers, okay? Into IP address 192.168.1.1, 255.255.255.0, and no shutdown, okay? So let us back, okay. 255.255.255.0 and no shutdown, okay? Got it? So now we'll do what we'll do. We'll create one loopback interface for the testing purpose. Interface loopback one, and the IP address of that 192.168.10.1 and 255.255.255.0 and no shutdown. That no shutdown is not required for a loopback. Okay. What it is telling, line protocol is on. Okay. Do so IP interface brief. Okay. Lakshmipati, that your default routing doubt has been clear.
Yeah, Mahesh. Yeah.
So that is clear, right? Why we are using default routing?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So now today again we'll repeat the same thing. So in the branch one, we assigned one IP address into this interface, and we are using one, as a we have created one loopback interface for the testing purpose. Okay, and I'm doing default routing as well. Okay, configuration terminal IP route 0.0.0.0 and 0.0.0.0 any network with the any subnet 192.168 it will send to the 1.2. Okay, that's it. Now again we are sending it. We'll configure to the enable configuration terminal interface. First Ethernet 0 by 0 IP address 192.168.192.168.2.1 and 255.255.255.0 and no shutdown. Interface loopback one IP address. I'm also creating one loopback interface. IP address is the 192.168.20.1 and 255.255.255.0. No shutdown is not required. Now let me do the default routing. IP route 0.0.0.0 and 0.0.0.0.0 192.168.2 dot home 2.2 it will send, right? Here now we'll go with the enable configuration terminal interface for Ethernet 0 by 0. This is our internet. Bit not internet. This is we are talking about this one, right? Personal 0 by 0 IP address 192.168.40.1 and 2 not 40.1, that is the 4.1 and 255.255.255.0 and no shutdown. And we have one more interface loopback 1 IP address 192.168.40.1 and 255.255.255.0. Okay, and the same way exit IP route 0.0.0.0 and 0.0.0.0.0 192.168.14.2. What is the meaning? Is it clear, everyone? Why we are using the default routing?
Yes, clear, sir.
Okay. So now, Shivansu, I believe you are clearly aware about this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now enable configuration terminal interface for Ethernet 0 by 0. We are configuring the internet, okay? Internet router. So here IP address 192.168.3.1 and 255.255.255.0 and no shutdown. Okay. Here also we're creating one interface loopback one, or we can create here interface loopback one. An IP address we are keeping as the 1.1.1.1 255.255. You can give to 255.255.255.0, no problem. Okay. In so IP route here we cannot we cannot do the default routing because this is our ISP and we do not have rights to configure on this. We have a rights to till this interface our which is connected to our firewall interface, right? But we cannot configure under that ISP the devices to any kind of default routing or RIP or anything. Okay, just assume this. Okay, so this is the real time scenario. Okay, now we have to take the console of the firewall. So by default, as you guys know about, there is no ID. By default ID is the admin, and no password has been assigned in by default. So it's the admin. Just put the admin as ID and double enter. Okay, double hit. Okay, so it is asking for the new password. Again, I'm keeping the password admin. Okay, so system interface and the question mark. So in this firewall, this is our management interface. Port number one is our management interface, and the DHCP has been enabled into this port number one. If you see here, so we received one IP 174.131. From where we received this IP? CMD. Let me open. If you check IP config, so what is my IP? 192.168.29.174. What is their IP? 192.168.174, right? So look, Ethernet adapter, VMware network adapter, VM network, VMnet 8. So if you go to the ncpa.cpl, okay. So when we are when we created a lab, okay. So when we install the VMware, it is giving an some logical network adapter, okay. So at the same time, we are created, just a minute. So here, if I show you the status, in the status, go to the details. From which series we are getting the IP? That 174 series, right? The same 174 series we are getting IP here. If you check from where we are getting the IP for to I'm just showing how we are getting the IP into this virtual machines. So if you check here, go to the setting, and here also if you check in the VMnet, okay? So it is in VMnet, and we using that VMnet only here also, okay? So that is the reason we are getting that IP, okay? So now come to the point. What is our management IP? So 174.131. So we'll use this IP 192.168.174, 174.131, and hit the enter. But first time it will not, support the HTTPS. It will just support the HTTP. Enter HTTP. ID is the admin. Password is the admin. Later. Okay, okay. And this is about what we're going to do today. We are going to assign an IP address first. We'll assign the IP address on the interface in port number 2, port number 3, and the port number 5. Okay, and as well port number 4 as well. Okay. So now port number 1 is we, we need to select as the main one. Okay, select OK. Okay. Now we need to configure port number 2. Port number 2, which IP? Port number 2 is the 1.2. So we'll give some name here inside, or you can say inside local, okay, inside lane, and we're giving them the role as a lane, okay. So what is the IP? 192.168.1.2/24, right? 1.2/24, correct? So we are assigning the IP, and we are allowing some services into this, and we are allowing just ping services. And now, second, you know how to configure, how to assign IP address by GUI, right? But I'm just going to configure IP address into the CLI mode. Okay. So this is our firewall. So uh, config configs, it will not accept the capital letter, right? Config system interface, edit port number, which one? Port number 2 or port number 3, right? This time port number 3. State mode is static. The set IP, what is the IP address? 192.168.2.2 and /24, right? And the set allow access string only I'm allowing. And the next edit port number, which one? Port number 4, 3, 4. Set allow access string, set mode static, set mode static, set IP 192.168.3.2/24, 3.2/24. And after that, next edit port number 5. Edit port number 5, set allow access ping, and set mode static. We are just assigning IP. Set mode static means we are assigning IP in the statically, right? Not by using DSP or dynamically. Set IP mode static, set IP 192.168. Which one? 4.2, right? 4.2/24. Correct? The set access thing already everything is done. To save it, just go to the end. Now if you check into the GUI mode, and go to the just refresh your page. Now all is assigned. Okay, port number 1, port number 2, port number 3, port number 4, and port number 5. IP has been assigned. Now what we'll do, we'll go for the static routing. Go to the static route, create a new. Whenever any PC wanted to reach to the internet like 1.1.1, the request would go to the next hop IP address. So means our ISP IP address. Okay, like 3.1. So just assign any subnet. Okay, it should go to the 192.168.3.1, right? Port number 4 by using port number 4. Now, how many interface or how many networks are connected together? 1.2, 2.2, means 1.series, 2.series, 3.series, and 4.series network are directly connected, right? So we need to advertise all these networks. Okay, so 192.168.1.0 series, 1.0/24, correct? Gateway will be 192.168. 192.168. This will be a 1.1, right? 192.168.1.1. inside lane, we need to advertise all the connected networks like 1 dot series, 2 dot series, 3 dot series, and the 4 dot series. So after that, they will start exchanging their routing table together. Okay, got it my point? If you check now, uh, if you check now, this firewall get router info, routing table all. Okay. To check the routing, routing table, there is command in the Fortigate. That command is get router info, routing table all. Okay. So when you check how many network it is showing, 192.162.0, 2.0 it is showing, 1.0 it is showing, 3 dot it is showing, 4 dot it is showing. This is about the port number one, which is coming by the dynamic DSCP, right? So if you ping, execute ping 1.1.1.1, this device can ping, the firewall can ping to that 1.1. But at the same time, if you ping to that, enable ping 1.1.1.1, it will not reach to the internet, right? Because there is no policy and no default route configuration has been done as of now. So if you ping 192.168.1.2, this is able to reach, right? But it will not reach to 192.168.1.2, and it will not reach to the 2.2, right? Or 2.2. So because by default policy is implicitly denied, right? So let me configure first what? Let me configure first to that the firewall. Then later, just a minute, where we are. Okay. So static routing we need to configure, right? 1.0 has been done and 2.0 has been done. 192.168.2.0/24, and what will be the gateway for that? The gateway will be at 2.1, right? So 192.168.2.1. Okay, something is wrong there. 192.168.2.0/24, 192.168.2.1. Why it is not accepting? What is the IP of this interface? Let me check first. Port number 3 IP. Port number 3 IP is a 2.2. Okay, fine. And the static route, create new 192.168.2.0/24. 192.168.2.1 it will send, right? Should send that 2.2. Just a minute. This is accepting the 3.1. Okay, and 192.168.1.1. So we just need to clone of this one, no problem. And instead of keeping that 1.0, it will give a 2.0. Instead of 1.1, we will use a 2.2. But it is using, I think we need to check the router IP. I think we're giving the same IP to the router as well. Enable show IP interface brief. So what is the IP? 2.1 here and 20.0. And what is the IP here? Interface. Here we given the 2.1. Here, here, here. Here we give the 2.2. Right? Being services enabled by 2. Okay, 1.6 is there, not 168, right? So that is the reason. 168.2.2. Now it will accept. Go to the static route. 192. 192.168.2.0/24. Guys, why you are silent? Into 168.2.1. You guys are getting the point? What we are
Yeah,
doing?
getting, sir. I got.
Lakshmipati?
Yeah, yeah, I'm getting it.
Okay, so Sivanso, you getting what we're doing now?
Yes, yes. Minus.
Let's, yeah, tell me, bless.
I, I, okay, I tried to get it, but the last
No,
time
no, tell me.
you you bundled
Tell me.
all the network. This one you are doing it individually.
I bounded all the networks means
When it comes for the static routing on the Fortinet firewall,
static routing.
create one
Okay, that is
policy.
just that was just a default routing. Okay, not a static routing. Today we are going to configure both static and default routing. So when you are going to um, Do that when you are advertising your routing table with your neighbors. That time you need to advertise your directly connected networks, right?
Yeah.
So that only we are doing. 1.2 is connected with us. 1.1 dot network is connected with us directly. 2 dot network is directly connected. 3 dot network is directly connected. 4 dot network is directly connected. So we are just advertising to this. We are just advertising whatever with network which is connected directly with us. That we are advertising. Okay. So after that they will send the routing table. Okay. So here 192.168.3.0/24 and 192.168.3.1. So port number 4. The same way 192. Yesterday I just did this 0.0. Nothing more than that. Correct. That was just a default routing. Now we are doing static routing and as well as default routing. Okay. So 192.168 dot which network is missing? 4 dot 0 network slash 24. 192.168.4.2. Okay. 4.2 or 4.1. 4.2. 4.1. So port number 5. Okay. So now if you check, you can check from here on either get router info, routing table, all. Okay. So when you check, it is showing like directly connected 1.2.3.4.0. Get router info, routing table, details. Okay. So to check, default route is only there and all still it is showing that the directly connected network, correct? But when you check in the routers, okay, just a minute. But when you check in the router side in R1, so IP route, so how many networks are there? 10.0, this is directly connected. 1.0, which is directly connected, right? And 0.0, which is directly connected. Means all the network which is directly connected, that only it is showing. It is not showing like 4.1 or 2.1 or anything else. Okay. So now we just advertise our network. Now what we have to do, when you, because there is no policy created as of now, right? So without policy, the router cannot ping to each other, right? This device cannot reach to the another network because the when you start pinging from here to 192.168.2.2, it will come to the request will come via port number 2 with the to firewall, right? So firewall will receive the request and the firewall will do what? Firewall will drop the packet because there is a by default policy is the implicitly deny, correct? Correct now?
Yes, sir.
If you wanted to check, there is some command diagnose debug enable and diagnose debug flow trace start. Okay, some command is there. Let's suppose I'm hitting from here. Okay, from R1 to I'm hitting ping 192.168 dot 192.168.2.2. Okay, so I'm hitting. So we'll get some details here. Okay, in the firewall. In the firewall. Okay, let's begin from here. We're getting what 127.0.0.1. We are receiving like 127 kind of local flags, and I'm just looking for that. So start diagnose debug enable diagnose debug flow trace start. One more command is there. Let me check that one more command is. This is a basic command, okay? Diagnose debug flow source address, and when you advertise the source address, diagnose debug to filter a source address. Diagnose debug diagnose flow trace start. Okay. So both are same. So when you enable, it will not allow. Okay. Direction find or registration ID session. The error will knows what is the command here. Let me copy paste from here. Okay. But this time our network is a 192.168 dot which network 192.168.10.1, right? Not 10.1. That is a one. That is our 1.1, right? So 1.1, and what will be the next? Next one, flow, trace, start. Start and some count I'm giving. Okay. Now if I heat from here, from R1, from the branch 1, if I heat to the 2.2, the packet is coming to the firewall, right? Packet is coming right now. We heat it from how many packet we heat? We ask router to heat, we ask router to send 10 packet to 2.2, right? So 2.2 is connected to whom? 2.2 is connected to the firewall, right? 2.2 is connected to the port number 3, and the request is coming from 1.1. The request is reached to the firewall, and firewall is started sending some what? Some error logs. So error means, let me take the error of this one. Okay, sequence one. Let me just copy. Or here I'll try to explain you. Tunnel ID policy zero drop. Able to see? Check file policy zero drop. What is the meaning of this? So let me download this command line and later I'll explain you. Okay. So ID, whatever the ID it is coming with the ID, and that from where the packet is coming from 192.168.1.1 only, right? With the port number 4, correct? And it
Yes.
is reaching, it destination is 192.168.2.2 with the port number 2048, correct? Channel ID 0.0.0. From port number 2, the packet has started. Type 8, there is, type 840 ID for sequence number is there. And after that, it is trying to say, session command line, allocation, new session, some session has been created, okay? And after that, we have gateway is the 192.168.2.2 via root, because the device is coming in the root mode now, okay? Local in handler, and finally it is trying to say what is it is telling, line 500 message, improve in check file on policy zero drop, because by default policy is what? By default policy is implicitly deny. So action is drop. So that is the reason why we are unable to reach from here to here. Okay. So that is the reason we are unable to reach, because by default policy is implicitly deny. So now we need to create one policy. So yesterday I explained we are getting single interface to call into this policy. Instead of calling a instead of calling one by one, better to go with the system and system to the feature visibility. Under the feature visibility, we are having a multi-port interface policy that we just need to enable. Now we get some other, option to call in a single policy to all the interface, right? So create new and go to the all to all. Now, if you check, incoming interface is the port number 2, 3, 4, 5. Packet will come from the port number 2, 3, 4, 5. Packet will go from port number 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So like that, we can create source will be a all, destination will be a all, okay? And the services will be all the services can use, okay? In the same way, except and that netting should be enabled, and that's it. Okay, so we created one policy. Now, if you hit, the policy has been created and the action is accepted. Earlier it was denied, in implicitly denied. This is a by default policy. So now we created one policy, right? So name, we given the name of the policy from where the packet will generate. Packet will generate from the port number 1, port number 2, port number 2, port number 3, port number 4 in the port number 5. Packet should go to port number 2, 3, 4, 5 means this is bi-directional, not unidirectional, right? From packet will receive from the same interface. Packet will send by the same interface. Okay. Source, any source. Destination, anywhere. Schedule, anytime. And the services, all the services like TCP, UDP, and DHCP, every services like is allowed. Okay. Action is accept. Net mode enable. And netting, we are having a separate concept. Okay. Security profile, we are having a separate concept. Logs it will generate. Okay. So what is the meaning of this policy that I just try to explain you. Now if you hit, now if you hit from here to here, okay. Now if you hit 2.2, just a minute, 2.2. We are able to reach, right? With the repeat count 100. With the repeat count 100, right? Now if you ping the same thing 1.1 and the source from where. Now I'm not trying to reach. Now I'm not trying to ping from 1.1. Now I will try to ping from 10.1. Okay. So 10.1 means our source is a loopback one. We created one loopback one here, right? In the branch one, we have a loopback one. We created one loopback one. The loopback interface IP is a 10.1, right? Got it, my point? Now I'm trying to ping from this local area network, not from the 1.1. Okay. So now if I hit, am I able to still, am I able to ping the 2.2? No, right? Is it able to ping the loopback one? No, no reachability, right? Because if you check, so we have created what? Network interface we created, interface IP has been assigned, and our port number one is manual only. Ping has been allowed, and the port number. Okay, let me check the routing table here. Get router info routing table out, routing table all, right? So here we are getting 1.2.3.4 only. We are not still that 10.1, 20.1, 30.1, 40.1 is not advertised, right? So let me check. Default route is already configured. Enable so IP route. So if you check default route is already there via 2.2 and here so IP route, so IP route. So default route is there via 1.2 and internet branch 3. Let me check one by one. Enable, sorry, enable ping, not ping, so IP route. Okay, 3.0, 1.1.1 is available, but no default route here, right? So now what we have to do, we created from here, we'll try to ping where from router to 10.1. Okay, so execute ping, execute, execute ping 192.168, 192.168.10.1. Okay, 10.1. We already created some, static routes. Policy has been created. Policy is created and policy is working as expected. Let me go with the network, check the interface IPs. So 1.2 and 2.2, 3.2, 4.2, that is fine. And here we have DNS is not required, SDN not required, static route. Static route we created for the 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and 4.0 via port number 4, port number 5. Let me check the routing table here. Go to the here network. DNS routing. Let me check the routing. Add the routing here and the static routing. Everything is showing under the static routing, but here in the dashboard routing monitor, if you check, only 1, 2, 3, 4 is showing, but it should show another interface also. The 10, 20, 30, 10, 20, and 40 also should show. Okay. So this is the way how you're going to configure static default routing. If you check from R1 to, if you check from ping 1.1, 1.1.1.1. So our users are able to reach the internet, right? Ping 1.1.1.1, 1.1.1. Yeah. So our all the users are able to reach the internet, right? Ping 1.1.1.1. Internet it is already okay. So every logs is generating, right? So this is the way how you're going to configure. So this is about what? This is about our graphical
Right.
user interface. This is just about graphical user interface. The same thing we can configure uh, by that CLI. Okay. Any doubt? Any question?
No, sir,
Uh,
it's fine for me.
I have no question. I have no
Okay,
question, but perhaps I just
yeah, tell me.
is it possible to send us after the class to send us the recording so I can go through it again?
Sorry?
But is it possible to
Just
send
wait,
us the
guys. Just wait.
recording?
Just wait, guys. Just wait. I'm getting on important call. Please be online. Huh? Just a minute.
Okay. Uh,
Yeah, guy. Please tell me. Hello. Hello. Here we did one mistake actually. What mistake we have done? Hello.
yes, Mahesh, I can hear you.
Yeah, yeah. Here instead of because we are not configuring what? We are not configuring a dynamic routing. We are configuring what? Static routing. So what we did here 192.168.1.0, which we advertise which is directly connected to us. But in static routing, we always need to advertise which is not indirectly connected with us, right? So indirectly connectivity means 10 is indirectly connected with from the firewall, 20 is indirectly connected from the firewall, 30 is indirectly connected from the firewall, 40 is indirectly connected from the firewall. So here in this 1.0, no, it is wrong. Here we need to do 1 into 10.0. 1 into 10.0. Okay. To reach the 10.0, you need to go via 1.0. Okay. 1.1. So now this is fine. 10.0, 20.0, 10.0, 20.0. Because this 10.0 is not directly connected from the firewall. 20.0 is not directly connected from the firewall. 40.0 is not connected from the firewall, right? 30.0. Let me use 30 is not there, but we can use 30.0. And 40.0, we also need to use 40.0, correct? 40.0. So 40.0 is connected from the firewall. Now if you check, wait a minute. Now if you check here in the routing table, um, so IP route, okay? So here still we are able to see the 10 dot network only. It should come via 20 and 20 network and 30 networks. All the networks should be sent, right? So just a minute to reach the let me delete this one, okay? 10 dot, 20 dot, 30 dot, and the 40. Okay. I'm just going to delete this. So now we need to create one network, okay? So it will give better clarity for you guys. So reach to where we want to reach 10.0 network, right? So 192 10.168.10.0. Okay, I want to reach 10.0 network. Their subnet is 24. 10.0 is invalid IP address with the subnet mark. Okay, the 10.0. Okay, 10.0. Now how I need to reach 192 via 192.168.1 dot 1 dot
One.
1.1, right? 1.1. So 192.168.1.1. So now if you check, this is fine. Okay. At the same time, if you wanted to reach at 20 dot network, correct? So 20 dot network, it should be a 192.168.168.20.0/24 via 192.168.192.168.2.1, right?
Yes.
192.168.2.1. So port number 3, correct? And again, if you wanted to reach, we are not advertising 30 because we don't have anything here. We are advertising just a 40 network. Okay, so 192.168 network/24 192.168 dot via 4.1, right? 4.1. So it will send to the 4.1, right? Via port number 5, correct? And anything else? Advanced, nothing is there. So that's it. So now if you check get router info, get router info, routing table, details, static, or we'll just take the static. So 10 0 net, 10 0 is 10 has come into the firewall, 20 is come into the firewall, 40 is come into the firewall, right? Via 2.1, via 1.1, via 4.1, correct? Correct, now?
Yes, sir.
Now again, if you check, so IP route, so here, how many networks is there? 10.0 network, 20 is not coming now. Let me check in that here. So IP route, okay? So IP route, here what is there? 20 network is there. So now let me ping 1.1.1.1 from loopback from source is the 192.168.10.1. Okay, so this 10.1 is also able to reach the 1.1, right? Got it? Clear, or do I need to explain what actually we did? Hello,
Yeah, yeah.
is
Yeah,
it
man.
clear?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so is it okay, Lakshmipati, Hussain, and Guy? So this is the way how we are going to do that static routing. So when we don't need to advertise directly network connected when you're doing the static routing, we need to advertise directly connected network when you're doing to the dynamic routing like RIP or OSPF. So we just need to advertise when anyone wanted to reach the 10.1 from the firewall, it should go via 1.1. Okay, the gateway is the 1.1. The same way, if someone want to reach from any request want to reach the 20.1, it should go via 22.1. It should go via 4.1 to reach the 40.1, 40.0. Okay.
Okay.
So let's suppose 10.1 or 20.1 want to reach a 1.1.1, which is our internet. Okay. So ping to whom? 1.1.1.1. From where? Source IP 192.168.20.1. Okay, so 20.1 want to reach internet. Okay, 20.1 want to reach the internet. That internet IP is a 1.1.1. So these are able to reach, right? Means local user interface, local users networks are also able to reach, right? If you ping 192.168.10.1 from here. So this from R2 we are able to reach the branch one local area network also. Correct. In the same way, you can read the 40 dot network also. Correct. Is it clear?
Clear, sir.
40.1. So this is the way how we are going to configure. In the same way, let me delete this policies. So the same way, we'll do what we will do. We'll do the static routing by I'm going to delete the firewall policy as well. Okay, firewall policy also I'm going to delete. So these things I'm going to configure what through CLI. Okay, so if you check, nothing has been there. policy is deleted and the static routing has been deleted. So the same thing we are going to do what? We will configure a by using
ASP.
a so first we'll do what in CLI mode. Now we are going to do the static routing and the firewall policy how to create in the CLI mode. So go to the firewall, okay? Go to the firewall, log in the firewall, admin, okay? So now config system. Yeah, what is the command? Config router static, okay? Config router static, and edit one. These are the sequence like we are having a pen paper, right? In our notepad, we are in sequence we are keeping, right? So first in the first entry, edit one means first entry, okay? So what is the meaning of this? Set destination. Where do I want to go? 192.1 set destination. Set destination. Okay. 192.168.10.0/24. Right? The same thing. Now what is the command? Second command. Set gateway. So gateway will be a set gateway. Gateway will be set gateway will be 192.168.1.1. Right? Set what? Set device port. Set device port number via port number 1 or port number 2. So via port number 2, correct? Not port number 1. So port number 2, correct? Now next, the same way. To where do we want to reach? Set destination 192.168.20.0/24 and the set gateway. Not this is wrong. Next after that, next edit 2. Again we need to add some another entry, right? Edit 2. Set set destination where do you want to go? Set destination 192.168.20.0/24. Set gateway will be 192.168.2.1, right? And the set device port number is the port number 3, correct? The set after that, next edit port number edit what that edit 3, right? Edit 3 I'm doing and the set destination 192.168.30.0/24, not 30, that is the 40 I guess, right? In this side we are having a 40.0 40.0/24 192.168.40.0/24. Set gateway will be 192.168.4.1 will be the gateway. Um, set device port number 5, right? So port number 5. And before that, we need to change the port number. Uh, port number, port number 5. I think I'm done, right? 2.1 is 2.1 is a which port? 2.1 is the port number 3. Okay, correct. And 40.0, which port number? Port number 5. Okay, fine. Now in. So system route. So system route. So router static. So router static is a command. So here you can see first entry. What is your destination network? 10.0. So via 168.168.1.1. By which port? Port number 2. In the same, when you want to reach the 20 via port 2.1 via port by using a port number 3. When you want to reach the 40 via port 4.1 by using port number 5. So this is the way how you're going to configure the static route. If you check in the static route, I'll show you. The static route has been configured. Static route. So static route has been configured here, right? Only what is missing now? The missing is default route. So default route also we can do in the same way. Config router is static and the set destination, set destination network, edit 234, edit 4 or anything. Edit 4 set destination network is 0.0.0 0.0.0/0. Okay. The set gateway will be our 192.168.3. What is that? 3.1. 3.1 set device port. Device port number is 4, right? and in. So again you refresh this page, still get it 0.0 also, right, via 3.1. So by using port number 4. So static routing has been configured by CLI. Now there is no policy, so policy will configure. Okay. What are the options are there in the policy? First, name. Okay. So what is the name? So command configure firewall, config firewall policy. So set what? Set edit one. Okay. And the set name. So the name will be all to all. Remember, this time only it is taking the capital letter by, because this is depending upon engineer or like us. So we can use in capital also. Set name all. And what is the set incoming interface? Set source interface. Source interface will be port 1, port 2, and port 3, and the port 4, and the port 5, right? And the same one, set destination interface. Destination interface, port 2, and the port 3, and the port 4, and the port 5, right? And the set source. Set source, what is that? Set source, set address, set source address, set source address all. Okay. Set all the address and set destination address, that is also all. Okay. Now set schedule. Schedule will be always. And set services. Services is set services. So all the services, set services. What is the question mark? If you want to allow ping, or if you want to allow all, you can go with the all. Okay. Set services question mark. So DNS, DHCP, let me check if there is an option. All is also option in capital, but if you use all in a small, it will not accept. So you need to use in capital letter. Okay, all set services all, set action, accept. Okay, and the set inspection mode, set inspection mode flow based. Okay, so after that set enable, set net not net 64, net enable. Okay, so netting is enabled. That's it. In so now if you check, so firewall policy, firewall policy. Okay, so the policy has been created. Name is all to all. This will come by default, so ignore this. Source interface, the port number 2, 3, 4, 5. Destination is the port number 2, 3, 4, 5. Set action is accept. Set source address is the all. Set destination address is the all. Set schedule always. Set services all. And set net enable. Okay, so that is created. So if you refresh the page now, the policy has been created. Okay, the policy has been created here. Firewall policy. So the policy has been created now, correct? So now if you check the, now you can ping from where to where, like the same here, ping 191.1.1, first 1.1.1, we are able to reach ping 1.1 from by using source by using source ping 1.1.1, just a minute, enable ping 1.1.1.1 source. Source will be 192.168.10.1. Okay. So 10.1 user is also able to ping like earlier, right? Correct. So what are the things we have completed today? This is done now, static routing and in GUI and CLI. Now we'll do the zone implementation. Zone implementation is nothing but how to create a zone. Okay. So zone is a different when we are keeping some servers in the security zone or some other places we're keeping in real time, right? So now all this policy is the interface based policy. Now we'll create a policy based on a zone. Okay. So now go to the network interface and create new. So there is an option zone. So give the name of any zone. So all to all I'm giving. So here it is asking interface member. So it is not showing port number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because port number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is an already in use in somewhere, right? So for this, so that we need to delete this policy first because already the interface is using. So remember, interface will become a part of any single policy, but it will not become a part of a multiple policy. Okay. So create new zone. Now I'm giving as a inside. Okay, inside. So I'm keeping inside. So inside lane. Okay, and I'm creating one more zone. So I'm keeping as a demilitarized zone 1. Okay. So the port number 3 I'm keeping. Like the same way, I'm keeping the port number 4 in the zone. DMZ, demilitarized zone 2. Okay. I'm keeping this port number of 5. Okay. And I'm keeping this is the internet, so we cannot go by using this. Okay. So now earlier we created a policy based on what? Based on interface. Now we'll create a policy based
Zone.
on zone. Okay, so incoming all to all, right? All to all. This time it will not. It will show DMZ or what inside. It will not show the port number 2, port number 3, right? Correct. So DMZ1, DMZ2 inside they can reach. Now it will they can reach to DMZ1, DMZ2, and inside like the same way source will be the all, destination will be the all. Okay, and the source will be all. Okay, and flow based and everything is like in the same way. Okay, netting done. Policy has been created based on zone. Earlier it was based on the interface, right? So now if you ping again from here, so we are able to reach. We will reach. Okay, will take some time. Okay, internet is not our part, right? So we need to create one more zone as an interface. Okay, network zone and the internet. Okay, so the internet is a part of which port? Port number 4. So now go to the policy now again and the aid in port number 4. Okay, aid port number 4. Internet. Okay, now you need to select this. Now you can now if you ping now when you ping. Okay, from 1.1.1 like this it will ping. Okay, got it. So today we have completed the zone. This one also. This zone is been also done. So tomorrow we'll go with the RIP. Okay, but if you are having a time, we just minute, guys. Take a 10 to 10 minute break, then we can continue with the RIP. Is it fine with the same topology?